Greetings, Dean.
Are you trying to threaten me? Oh, there you go. Lord be with you.
I'm Henry, Miller Crazel's new apprentice. He sent me to search for a niter pit and said you might be able to help me with that.
Of course I will. I'm Bonnie. Nice to meet you.
Bonnie? It's not a name.
It's not the name I was baptized with. In our craft, it ain't a good idea to tell people your real name. That's why we use nicknames. What should we call you? Well, you know what? I'll come up with a nickname for you, Mice. Did you bring me something?
Actually, Crazel said you...
He's right there.
I've got something here.
My word, that's exactly what I need. The ingredient.
What kind of magic ritual?
The kind where Zenek finally gets some sense into his head. And just so you know, that mess with the author of Hermes Trismegistus. While we're on the subject of rituals...
He did.
And what...
Well, I think it's all a load of shit. Just some hocus pocus.
Well now... So you're a bailiff's man, and you're on our trail?
No. It's just I'm not as naive as you seem to think.
Look out! Behind you!
What?
Just testing how You know, if a golem punches you, you won't get up again. But that's enough of that. We're not going to stand here talking about flower golems when we've barely just... I'd like to chat with you too, Henry. Get to know you. But if you're in a hurry to find Crazel's saltpeter, I won't keep...
No. I have plenty of time.
You know what? When they caught Zeneg in Troskovitz, I was scared out of my mind that they'd catch me. I had to hide out here for a while, so I haven't had anyone. Life in the lair isn't all fun and games. Zeneg and all the other mill knuckleheads were never... So I'm glad the Millers finally found a normal hand for once. But it's a shame I don't have my dog Sniffer no more. It was fun with him at least.
Crazel mentioned that he died.
Aye, from some fucking disease. He started getting these lumps all over his body. Then he stopped eating and what about you? What kind of family are you from? Also, thieves?
I found myself following the path of the night.
Oh, aye. Men these days solve all their problems in... Where are the good old days when everything could be solved with a simple... Jesus. And you know who else pines for the good old... What do you think of the old miller, anyway?
I don't think I...
Once he told me there's no such thing in the world as a man. What are you supposed to... Thanks for talking to me. But now, before you came, and before Zenek fucked up with the manuscript, we collected saltpeter all over the place. Mainly, it has to be scraped from the walls. Horrible. I'm not going to lie to you. We also looked in a few chests. Anyhow, now all the styes in the region are scraped clean and...
The barrel isn't...
But we did bloody thorough job. Unfortunately, Crazel said we need at least...
6 times?
I reckon so. There should... If you're looking for it, you ought to know how saltpeter forms. Do you have any idea?
Certainly. You take a damp wall, like in a sty, you let the water evaporate.
That's right. But, like I told you, all the sty walls in the region are scraped clean and we can't wait. Don't forget that saltpeter crystals are formed in places where something is rotting. Well, a saltpeter pit is actually nothing more than a mass grave.
Crazel said saltpeter is a vessel for life energy. I get it that it's left over from dead bodies, but... How do you get it from shit?
God's mysterious ways. You know how it is.
And he also wanted me to taste it.
Unfortunately, it isn't. Otherwise, you won't know if it's saltpeter.
Jesus. And you know...
Not exactly, but I have an idea. A person who's digging holes and throwing dead bodies into them and doesn't even know he's got a gold...
The local grave...
Exactly. And the one we have here...
Ah, the gravedigger Ignatius. I've already met him. He lives...
Aye.
So I'm in for a walk to the cemetery.
Seems like it. Too bad you couldn't have walked around the county with us before. I learned a lot during that time, and I won't keep it to myself. I'd be happy...
I'll keep that in mind.
That old gravedigger will be suspicious, so he's always dragging those carcasses, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a slab.
Good idea.
He lives a short way from the cemetery, so at least the meat won't go bad on the way. Lots of love, the Wolf of Sky.
What did you do before?
I got by any way I could. Believe it or not, I started in a convent.
You? A nun? Well...
Oh well, different people have different fates. But we all ended up here anyway.
Why do you work for the miller?
Because he pays well, and don't care how much coin I make on the side.
You mean by stealing?
And he doesn't ask.
What do you think about Crazel?
You're another one of those that don't know if they should love him or hate him, eh? Crazel is his own man. Once you learn to get along with him, but sometimes he's unbearable.
How was the saltpeter collection and tasting again?
It wasn't so bad. Xena kept whining about it, but being a saltpeter collector, when you go and clean some, we made a...
What, by steam?
Confiscating property.
What do you know about the trop...
He's a pretty tough old bird. He follows the rule, I'll treat you, and he appreciates when a fella's direct and open. But I probably wouldn't.
So, Bonnie, the most honest girl I know. I'd like to see some dead animals as models for painting a church fresco. A scene...
That might be a bit much.
Tell me something more about...
He's Andy, that's for sure. But also a bit of a fool. To be honest, I don't care for Crazel's bullshit most of the time either. I do this job because it's fun. Unlike Zenek. He does actually Dunga, for instance.
Oh, lovely.
Scruffy. He tries to be...
What is this lair?
Crazel built a store so all them honest, curious people in the mill, the likes of Hensel, wouldn't have to worry their little heads about what we're doing here.
You mean behind that boarded-up door in the cliff?
We're definitely not doing anything there right now. Because of the mess in there. I told Zenek to clean it up. I think he wants to see if the place will get so rotten that saltpeter will bloom on the walls.
I heard you could...
It can be done. What are you interested in?
I reckon you've got a few tricks in your pocket to get into other people's pockets.
Great, let's get to it. Learning this... I apologize.
Why do you work for the mill?
Well, how can I put... Anywhere else, they'd have kicked me out by now. The miller's the last... He says every idiot...
And you see that as a...
I see a coin in my hand. That's all I care about.
What did you do before you started working for the mill?
Bit of it. When I was still a boy, I stirred lye at a tannery. Let's say not exactly. That's what I'm best...
What do you think of Craig?
Is this some kind of test? I can think what I want, and I keep my opinion to myself. And you ought to do the same.
Long time no see, eh?
Crazel gave you another job.
Yeah. I proved myself to him last time, so why not continue our collaboration?
Did you come here to make fun of me? Just like Bonnie? As soon as she showed up, she gave me hell over that manuscript.
No, not at all. I just need to find out something only you would know. What do you know about the gravedigger?
Not much to know. He's half gravedigger. He takes care of both dead people and animals.
I'd never have figured that out without your help.
He's my father, and he's a...
Yeah, right.
It's true. I was born the 7th. I have the power of clever. I'm just hiding. I've been chosen to...
Yeah, nice story. But if I'm going to get the miller some...
Oh, aye. The gravedigger's is born also. So don't even...
You see? That's the kind of...
Take care, friend. See you soon, my friend.